Efficiency will only take you so far. To be truly effective, you need to start with your people. Smartsheet helps enterprises better align people and technology so they can move faster, drive innovation, and achieve more. Smartsheet, the platform for enterprise achievement. Learn more at smartsheet.com.
Do you remember your first time using GPS?
In 0.2 miles, take a right on Rock Falls Court.
Suddenly, you didn't even have to think about it.
Estimated time of arrival, 2:34 p.m.
Now, we can all wax nostalgic on the road trips of yore, pulling over at random gas stations to buy a map or ask for directions, or maybe just take a rest and then keep blindly travelling on. All right, maybe not, but the fact is, GPS and Google Maps and Waze have undoubtedly made our commutes much more efficient. So what if I told you that you'll soon integrate Google Maps into another road you travel? Your career path.
Alternate route ahead.
Imagine an app that maps out the training programs, the education, and the companies you need to work for in order to retire by the age of, say, 35. And then imagine that same app integrating a social aspect like Waze does, incorporating others' input in real time.
Warning, your boss is having a bad day today. Estimated chance of promotion, 0.2%. Alternate route ahead.
It's really not far off. And like the GPS for your car before it, Google Maps, but for your career, it's going to completely change the networking game. I'm Faye Schlesinger, Managing Editor of OZY. Welcome to another episode of The Future of X. This season, we're looking into our crystal ball in partnership with Smartsheet to decipher the future of the workplace. In this episode, we explore how technology and data will change the way we network and how we find and fill the jobs to come.
So as human beings, as individuals, we're just not that good. We're not that strong, and we can't solve complex problems.
Simon Sinek is an organizational consultant, public speaker, and author.
But in groups, we're remarkable. In groups, we can lift the heaviest weights and solve the most complex problems. None of us can do this alone. Work is too difficult.
In his latest book, The Infinite Game, Sinek explores the idea that organizations struggle because their leaders are playing with a finite mindset. These leaders believe that they can win, that the competition can be over, that there's an end game. In other words, Amazon might be the biggest company on the planet today, sure, but that doesn't mean they will be tomorrow.
One of the ways in which we can start to convert our mindset to an infinite mindset is to change the way we recognize the other players in the game. To stop thinking of the other players in the game as competitors. Because competitors are there to be beaten. Competitors are there so we can win and they can lose. Well, we've already established that that's not how business works.
We've all done it. Glanced across the desk to check in on our colleagues' progress, or even blatantly badmouth someone else's performance with the hopes of earning our own promotion. Side note, as a manager, that one always backfires. But Sinek says there's a smarter and better way to view our colleagues, and it's probably not what you think.
A healthier way to view the other players in this game is to see them as rivals. And some of those rivals are worthy of comparison. They're worthy rivals. And the definition of a worthy rival is another player in the game whose strengths reveal to us our weaknesses. There are other individuals or companies who are better at what we do than us. Maybe they have a stronger culture, better product, better marketing. Maybe they're smarter. Maybe they have more rigor in how they go about their process. Instead of being unnerved by their strengths and working hard to undermine them and beat them, it's way more productive in this infinite game of business to take a hard look at the weaknesses that were revealed and work hard to fix them.
And Sinek says this infinite game mindset, it filters down from the most influential CEOs to the unsung heroes in HR.
Very often what we do is recruit to a job spec rather than to a culture or a set of values. We look at someone's job experience, we look at what job we need done, we see that they've done it for our competitors, and so, they're nice in the interview and we hire them.
But in the race to win, we often make costly mistakes.
And then so often somebody joins our organization and we discover that they don't share our values. They're not a good fit. They don't actually get along with the people. They're struggling. We're struggling with them. Well, that's because we hired for the wrong thing. And the worst part is we so unceremoniously dismiss them because we tell them that their performance sucks. It was our fault for hiring them in the first place.
Nobody likes hiring or being hired right now, as far as I can tell.
Amy Zalman is a futurist and professor of foresight at Georgetown University.
Some of the trends in technology and hiring don't look really great right now. The automation of resume processing doesn't seem to be serving anybody that well. It is doing the opposite of what all employers say they need, which is more creativity, more critical thinking, and asking people to replicate precisely skills that employers already know in order to even get their foot in the door. So if you're looking for a creative, proactive, amazing thinker for your travel company, the people that you're really going to get in the door because of the way that your automated resume processing service works are people who've already had the experience of doing the 5 things that you already need done.
But Zalman says things will get better and the technology will continue to improve.
These processes, and I'll call them automated workflows, are still relatively in their infancy. I mean, to the degree that even the internet is still in its infancy. So we are going, in the kinds of economies that we're talking about, to have, ever more and ever faster data processing capabilities and more creative and more human ways of working with technology.
Robin Sherwood, the Senior Director of Product Management at Smartsheet, agrees that we're just at the start of a revolution in hiring and networking.
Social media and social networking have created this, access to millions more people than we ever had access to before. You looked at your LinkedIn profile and 2 degrees from you is, tens of millions of people all of a sudden. And I think not that long ago, that just wasn't the case. It was, you had to know the right people who knew the right people, and you had to go to the right school. And those things are still factors, but I think access has been democratized dramatically.
And your own ability to network, to find the right job without knowing the right people, not only is that improving, but so is your potential employer's ability to find you. Technology, including AI, is changing the way companies sift through job applicants.
Right when those candidates are coming in to our process, we could have AI do the first screen.
Kara Hamilton is the Chief People and Culture Officer at Smartsheet.
We want to shield ourselves from data that clouds our judgment. A name can signal gender. It can potentially signal race or ethnicity.
But AI makes it possible to mask those traits from the hiring process, allowing managers to avoid their own implicit bias.
So it's this wonderful case of technology helping humans do better.
One of the traits that often gets overlooked, says Hamilton, is the value of someone with a non-traditional career path.
If someone's been working for 20 years, is where they got their bachelor's degree, or if they got a bachelor's degree, even a top 5 criteria? I would argue not.
Education is important, she says, but the older you get and the longer you spend in your career, the less it matters.
It's another element of diversity to think about people who have progressed in their career from a different starting point than what is most traditional. There should be room for that because that's going to help you build a stronger organization. And not all education comes from traditional means.
If we only rely on metrics, we're going to rely on this weird, watered-down thing.
Simon Sinek again.
It's about balance, not to mention the fact that there should never be a single person who looks a certain way and has one point of view doing all the hiring. We need diverse companies and we need diverse people interviewing a diverse set of candidates. And what you'll get is diverse thoughts.
One of the best ways to get these diverse thoughts is to focus on what people actually accomplish in their jobs, not just the credentials on their resume.
I think we're going to focus more on what I'll call this doing data.
Lisa Bedell is the CEO of Future Think, a consultancy based in New York that helps companies eliminate unnecessary busy work.
And this doing data that so-and-so attended this, they interned here, they got these results, and this led to X. This skills and doing data is going to help us take a more project-based approach and have us more, get better outcomes, I guess is the way to say it.
In this new model, personal performance will be even more important.
If all doctors are the same and all of them have great outcomes, what I want to see behind that is, what did they do to get there that differentiates them, right? So if everyone went to Harvard Medical School, that's great, but not all doctors from Harvard Medical School are the same, are they? So being able to be transparent and see what they did to get there, that's going to help us start to differentiate more on what we need and get a little bit more feeling of knowing that person and their personality and how they work, not just what they do. And that's the future of recruiting people and getting more productive teams.
Efficiency is great for saving money, but will only take you so far. To be truly effective as a business, you need to start with your people. Smartsheet aligns people and technology so they can plan, manage, and automate work, and stay focused on the big stuff, solving challenges and driving innovation. When everyone is working as one, they can move faster and achieve more. Maybe that's why Smartsheet is trusted by 90% of the Fortune 100. Smartsheet, the platform for enterprise achievement. Find out what you can achieve at smartsheet.com.
In this episode, we've already explored how automated data will change the way we network and how we find and fill the jobs to come. And as we alluded to at the start, tech will also be key in mapping our careers as a whole. Robin Sherwood again.
I think the software is going to get much better. And I think it's going to learn to know what we want more than we do. There's not going to be this point when it's just like it takes over. It's going to be this point when it just gets more and more accurate all the time. And you start to rely on it more. You start to listen to it more.
Sherwood says software will help us map out our careers, tell us who we should be having networking lunches with, and provide us with all kinds of information on our colleagues and our bosses.
I'd love to know that my boss is grumpy today and not to ask for a raise, right? Like he had a really bad status meeting right before I walked in, and your timing's bad. Wait till tomorrow and buy him a coffee. And by the way, he likes this kind of coffee.
But this same software will also give your boss some invaluable information about you.
It gives you really the ability to really understand how much people contribute on a day-to-day basis. And I think that there's this, you match that to their LinkedIn profiles and to their recommendations and to their levels. And I think it's really easy to start to create this almost scoring of how valuable this employee is, right? Like I've got an employee score for this person. Like this person contributes, this person moves the needle, this person drives a team, or they get stuff done.
Sherwood says this performance score will be based on, get this, the transcripts of every meeting you've ever been in, every comment you've ever left in a document, all of your emails, and of course your social media posts.
It's super easy to imagine this account on LinkedIn is associated with this account on Twitter, and I can see the social graph from Twitter and the types of things that this person comments on. All of this stuff starts to factor into this profile that I create of people.
Just like Amazon knows all about your buying preferences and your search histories, major office software providers like Microsoft, which let's not forget owns LinkedIn, could learn all about your job performance now and in the past, as could your employer.
If a company like Microsoft could aggregate all this information about an individual, maybe the company itself wants to know that. But does my employer even have the right to know at that detailed level how good of an employee I am, right? Or am I effective? Because is it the result of I'm on a team with a bunch of people who come in at 7 a.m. and I'm a 10 to 7 guy? Or is it because I'm lazy and I'm just milking my employer for a paycheck?
And once you start to figure out the contours of your own personal performance algorithm, will you inevitably change the way you work to improve your score?
If you get your job done, is it enough to just do your work, or do you have to do it in a right way, the right way? Always in quotes, because who decides what's right?
And things could get even weirder and frankly more worrying than that.
You can imagine these scoring models to start to emerge in a kind of a creepy way, right? Like it starts to feel a little bit like that Black Mirror episode where everybody's got the social rating on everybody.
That's reserved for members of our Prime Flight program. You got to be a 4.2 or over to qualify.
Oh, I'm a 4.2.
I'm afraid you're actually a 4.183.
Well, that's not my fault. Some woman dinged me down in the couch. Can't you
I'm
just...
sorry, it won't let me book it without the correct ranking.
Imagine like your interactions starting to be guided by, your social graph heads-up display that's basically saying, oh, this is somebody that you will get a lot of value from connecting with versus somebody that you won't.
Still, with all the intrigue and fear around AI infiltrating yet another aspect of our work, we have to remember that humans have abilities that robots never will. Simon Sinek again.
Is there an app that can help me fall in love? Is there an app that can help me find best friends? And the answer is, of course not. These are human experiences that you're asking about. And so we cannot rely on technology to expedite the process of finding someone who's a good cultural fit. It just doesn't work that way.
And as we rely on AI to make things more efficient, Sinek warns that metrics can often show only one side of the coin.
It's just like the price of a company's stock price is only part of a picture on the health of the organization. Someone's job performance is only part of a picture of the quality of that employee and whether they're a good teammate.
Computer algorithms and services like LinkedIn may come to dominate the networking and hiring worlds, but that won't eliminate the human. Amy Zalman again.
One of the things that's happening because of technology, I think, is a counter trend. Some of the scope and the degree to which online networking has pervaded our lives, I believe, will start to make personal relationships very, very important to us.
Next time on The Future of X, we'll explore a new chapter in our ongoing quest for meaning.
The single biggest driver of meaning at work is the belief that your actions in your job have a positive impact on other people. And so one way to find meaning is to ask yourself, if my job didn't exist, who would be worse off?
The Future of X is produced by OZY in partnership with Smartsheet. I'm your host and OZY's managing editor, Faye Schlesinger. Derek Clements is our producer and editor. Sean Braswell is our lead writer. Anna Davies and Shannon Williamson are our editorial producers. Rob Koulos is our executive producer. And Tracy Moran serves as deputy editor. Today's future tip? Ask for help, even if you know you can do the task at hand yourself. This isn't some twisted mind game. It's about learning to work better with other people. Brand new research from Harvard shows that trust is not gained by helping others, but by asking for it, by showing vulnerability. You see this a lot. New team members, they'll put on a brave face and act like they have all the answers because they want people to value them. In fact, the opposite often rings true. Check out some links we've put up at ozy.com/future. That's ozy.com/future to learn more. And we'll leave you with this final thought from the brilliant Simon Sinek.
If you ask for help, what'll happen is you'll learn more. If you ask for help, what'll happen is you'll gain mentors. What'll happen is you'll form deep, meaningful relationships of people who will be there for you when you need them most. The more we can ask each other for help, the greater our chances to grow and really become great and valuable members of any organization.